Chakra sessions. Oh my goodness. I'm your host, Polly Jo Labbé, here with Star Nations Radio, broadcasting through Be Live TV. Welcome, everyone. Tonight's chakra session is all about the energetic protection in the new era. Like, what do we need and how do we need it? That is part of what we're going to look at this evening. Because, it's one of those things that as our energy upgrades, we need to do things a little bit differently. And that includes how to shield and protect ourselves. So good. Glad to have you in the house. Hello, Christine. Nice to have you with me. Glad to have you in the house. And Nathan, hi. How are you? Glad to have you here. So yeah, tonight is how do we do protection? And it's sad for me to think that we need this chakra session. But as energy is shifting and people are in survival mode and maybe are having a little bit of extra fear, we're sending out waves of energy we're not aware of. And so that is something that if we're empathic, we might be picking up on. So that's part of why we might need to do a little bit of an upgrade to what we do. So hi, Sandy. Welcome. Thank you for liking and sharing it as well. And Nathan, thank you so much. It is great to see you. It's always interesting for me when my spiritual team gives me the topic of the week. It's interesting to see who that resonates with, to come on live with the show to see, because then you guys hold that energy with me, which is really cool. So, if you could help out by liking and sharing the broadcast and getting it out there into Facebook land, I'd really appreciate it. It helps us reach people who might be in need of a little guidance, and maybe in this case, maybe they need a little protection or they need to up their protection. One of the things that I've had a number of clients say recently is they know how to ground and shield and protect themselves, because I work with a lot of light workers, but they're finding that the shields and the protection aren't lasting as long, and the grounding isn't lasting as long. Before it would last for the whole day, and maybe now, if you're lucky, it's lasting half a day. And then there's others who are in such intense, stressful energy. Maybe they're not at home, they're actually at work right now, and they're out and about. Then the shielding and protecting needs to happen even more regularly than that. So how do we amp that up? How do we do that? So, if you guys have your own techniques that you've been using and maybe they're not working as well, feel free to ask some questions about that. But let's start with some of the oldies but goodies, right? So the first one that we want to think about is that to really be shielded, we need to be in our body and we need to be grounded, because if we're sort of out of the sphere of things, it's difficult for our shield protection, our bubble of energy, to stretch. It stretches a little bit, but it's just like a rubber band. If you stretch it too much, eventually it starts to get little cracks and crevices in it. So instead, we want to create, in our shield, we want to make sure that we're in our physical body so that the protection is wrapped around where we're actually energetically located. Because sometimes when we get, uncomfortable, we leave our body, we energetically check out. And we might notice that we're having trouble focusing and we're having trouble remembering things. And You might even be having symptoms of being dizzy. Those are things that might be coming up because you're not grounded enough. So when we start with grounding, then we have somewhere for a shield or a layer of protection to solidify around. And there's many different ways to ground, but I've been finding that lately it's a little hard to ground with just our root chakra. Many of us were taught that in the beginning of our healing, to ground our root chakra and connect it to the earth. But our root chakra might be a little wobbly right now. And so that's an unsteady foundation to be connecting to. So my team has been inviting people to connect and ground through the heart chakra. And for those of you who understand the energetic difference, you might even want to ground through your high heart as opposed to your regular heart chakra. I see that Neshi joined us. Hi, dear. Glad to have you in the house. Thank you for loving and sharing, just like Sandy did. I appreciate that. So, when you do your grounding, the energy wants to connect to the earth plane and it wants to connect to the divine. And we all have our own perception of that. And we have our own vision of where the divine is located. And if you have a sense that the divine is above you, you might want to ground to the divine above you as well as the earth plane. If you have a sense that the divine is within you, then you find where you feel or locate your center. So some people may feel it closer to the solar plexus because our spiritual gateway is located very close to there. When we invite our higher self to connect to us, then the central gateway is right in the center of our being. And so that might be another place where you would like to ground from. And each chakra has its own ability to ground. So you're welcome to ground each one. There are days when I'm feeling really out of sorts, and that is what I do. I ground the root chakra and the second chakra and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and the seventh until I feel really solid and really inside my body and how it's contained at the moment. The translation happening with my spiritual team at the moment is an interesting one. So if I'm laughing, it's because, because of that. So once you are grounded, if that doesn't work, things like rubbing your feet on the ground, rubbing your hands together, you can tap on either side of your shoulder. That brings your brain into balance. And when your brain comes into balance, then your intuitive brain can work with your logic brain. It's not an either or situation. So sometimes that's what we need to do to drop us down into our body. And you can also cross your wrists and do it on your knees as well. You need to do it under a desk or a table so other people don't see. If you're feeling like you're heading out, then that's where you're going. Hi, Amy. Nice to have you. Glad. Yes, I'm feeling that the energetic protection is a big deal right now. I'm seeing a lot of people who are having difficulty with it, and I'm noticing that when I'm working with people, that their shields are down. Maybe not completely, but they're having more difficulty. And that happens when we are under a lot of stress. Then our energetic shields or our aura have a difficult time staying as full and as complete as they can be. Every little bit of stress, every sense of overwhelm, it pings and it starts to bring our guard down, right? And sometimes we bring our shields down, in that open-hearted way because we're exchanging energy with someone that we love and care about. But there are other times when our shields start to come down, and that's not our intention. So this is all about how to keep your shields more solid when that's your intention. Right now, the one thing that my team keeps talking about is that your immune system is very tied in to your protective shield. So if you are not feeling a sense of your shield being up and full, then your immune system is slightly compromised. I don't want to say that, you're going to get sick or anything like that, but it's allowing more energy to come through, and that can be difficult. I guess that's the best thing. Hi, Guyleen. Nice to have you here. Yes. And you're bringing a reminder to me too. So thank you. So, that's one of those things that our immune system is compromised at times from stress. And we understand that in our logic brain. But when we're thinking about it from our spiritual perspective, many of us are light workers and we just want to help everyone. And it's not that we're protecting from people because they're bad or that energy's bad or that things are negative. It's just that we want to, it's like those masks, the mask that we're all supposed to be wearing when we're outside, that protects other people from our energy, and it protects us from other people's energy. So when we don't wear a mask, we are putting out the possibility that we may be compromising their energy shield, because maybe they're not as strong and resilient. And so just that little bit of our stress coming in their direction can make it hard for their immune system to manage the stress. And because there's so much right now. So that's another way of, we're shielding with the masks, and that serves multiple purposes. It's not just to protect us from receiving the virus. It's also from helping us not to spread the virus in case somehow we inadvertently came in contact with it. But again, people right now are in such strong survival mode that they may be having difficulty keeping up their energetic barriers, their boundaries. And you may be noticing that people are having trouble with boundaries, or you're having to set boundaries more solidly because of this new stress of everyone being, not everyone, but a lot of people being home and confined to a small space. And everybody's out of their normal rhythm, and it can be that stress is enough to start to weigh on our immune system and make it, it puts it in a place where it's having difficulty. I guess that's the best way for me to put that. Hi, Ellen, glad to have you here. And Kimberly, across the pond, you made it. Nice to have you. So the protective shields are not just for our physical health. That's one of those things that some people don't understand. When we're shielding our energy, we're protecting our physical, our emotional, our mental, and our spiritual beings, the bodies of energy that connect to us. And, if we're feeling a lot of fear around us, let's say, then it triggers any fear that we have that we're still carrying in our emotional body, or maybe even our mental body, our thoughts. And so when it gets triggered inside of us, it pulls back against the fear energy that's outside of us. And when it starts to pull back, it can snap. And in that snapping, like a rubber band snap, it can just put a tiny little tear in our auric layer. And if you think about it in terms of, grandmother Earth and the hole, it's a hole in our ozone. And what caused that, for grandmother Earth? Well, a lot of pollution. We had a lot of chemicals that we released into the atmosphere, and it tore things apart. Well, those things that tore her atmosphere apart also can tear our atmosphere, our shield, apart. So some of the chemicals that are out there, they're harsh for our energy body, and so we may need to use them, but then we need to repair the damage that was created. And that's what we can do with our energy body. That's what we can do with our chakras to help us shield. And, many people were taught, to feel a bubble, and I still use that as a phrase because I haven't quite found the word that will match it better. Because for many of us, bubble is you think of bubbles that we blow. And those are not very strong. You touch them and they pop right away, right? So that sphere that we want to put around us, we want it to be allow the energy in that we need to receive, allow the energy out that we are sending, but it puts up a screen so that the stuff that we don't want doesn't come in. Maybe it's like a sieve. I don't know. It's like you weed out the stuff that you don't want to come in. So Ellen, perfect. So is the auric oil good for now? So Ellen's referring to one of my chakra blends, my the Trinity Healing blends that you can find on my website. So I do have an auric blend. Yes, that auric blend helps your aura reboot, repair, and restore itself. That is a fantastic oil. And at this point, because of how, depending on how much contact you're having with the outside world, even in a Zoom situation, you might want to use it 2 or 3 times a day as opposed to just once a day, because we're having a constant barrage of energy coming at us. The auric blend is a very good one. The immune blend is a very good one, and the psychic protection has been ramped up. My team upgraded that oil in the last spring. In preparation for this time, and I'm finding that protection is working very well. If you have one that's older than the spring, you just might want to put it on a couple times a day if you have that. And anybody who's gotten oils from me in the last 6 months, they've been energetically amped up to match the new energy that's coming. And there's also an ascension blend that helps your aura be a little more flexible so that it doesn't pop as you're moving and doesn't get holes or as you're going. So that's been helping a lot of people as well. The auric blend I recommend if you guys are having symptoms that are affecting your physical body, dizziness, headaches, joint pain, rashes, difficulty sleeping, all of those things mean that the energy is impacting you in your physical, emotional, or mental realm. And so once it starts to impact you and you are in a place where you're having symptoms, then you know that your energy is compromised. I hope that makes sense. So one of the things that to create our bubble of protection is we can ask the divine to shield and protect us. We can ask our spiritual team to wrap us in golden light. It's how you envision that bubble to look that's important. Yeah, Guyleen, if you need it, just message me and I'll stick it in the mail tomorrow. It's fantastic. It's I don't have it out. I probably ought to, but it's over here. It's over on my shelf. Yeah, no, my team was very, actually the interesting thing about the Ascension blend was back in early November. My team, normally I make about 6 of an oil, maybe a dozen sometimes, of ones that my team are like, you're going to need these. And back in November, my team had me make 250 of the Ascension blends, because it's something that helps you with the transition so that you're not getting bombarded, and so that your aura is not pulling apart, and that as you're recreating your chakra system to match the energy of the planet right now, that is something big. And I've already gone through half of the oil. I think we're at, maybe we have 100 left. I don't think so. So people have been needing it. And then if you finish it, or you come to the end of it and you feel like you need more, it's one of those ones that, because I attune it specifically to your vibration, it's not something you can share with someone, because you have your own ascension process. Your family members have their own. So it's impacting your energy system in a different way. So each oil is attuned to your particular vibration. Something like the auric blend, that's a general oil that can be used, that could be shared, shared by family, because sometimes we need that. Kimberly is feeling a lot of throat chakra density right now. Yes. And Guyleen, we can do it right through PayPal if you want. That's usually the easiest. That's most people at this point. It's just as fast to message me, and then I can send you a PayPal or just give you the link, because then it's rapid. It's not going through my website and ordering it and then the order getting to me. This just gets to me rapidly. Putting in a direct line. So when we're doing the shielding now, a lot more of the energy is, again, it's the intention of your protective shield. What are you feeling the need for protection from? What I often do as phraseology is that I protect myself from interference. So it's good for me I have the capacity to clear energy for an entire room. And I've been able to do that for a very long time. And I can do, an entire hospital if I'm in the hospital, or if I connect to the being that is the hospital. So in that place, if I'm not paying attention, then I'm clearing a lot of other people's energy and fear without knowing it. And then all of a sudden my energy field is bogged down, because when I'm not in that place of awareness, I'm picking it up, but I'm not releasing it. When I do the groups like this, I know that I'm picking up, but I'm also helping shepherd it into the center of the earth so it can compost and return to that energy, can return to its highest vibration and its highest purpose. So one of the things that, is good for us to think about is, what do we want it to protect us from? I always hold the intention that what I'm activating is for the good of all and harm to none, including myself. Because sometimes we don't understand the purpose of information that may be coming in. But if my shields are up and it's nice and strong and I can sense that and feel that, but I still get a ding, then that ding energetically is important information. So it's not that you block out all information. It's that you block out what isn't necessary for you. And, it can be that energy of, the outside being like Teflon. It hits your awareness. You might notice it, but then it slides down, slides off, goes into the earth. Those are all important. They're how you sense that. Sometimes I have a feeling like I need a day where it feels like a one-way mirror, where I'm the mirror so people can see their own energy and sense their own energy and do their own clearing. And I can see through and see what needs to be worked on, but I don't necessarily want them looking into my energy field. Does that make sense? So in that space, if I'm doing work with a client, it's my job to help the client. It's not the client's job to help me. We do work in a connected way so that, any energy that I have that matches the vibration of what they're releasing will release in that same moment, which is part of the beauty of doing healing work, is that as you're helping others, you're helping yourself. But, I have a lot of clients who are light workers. And so sometimes they think they're being helpful by scanning my energy and trying to help me out. So there's times that I'm like, no, I'm not paying for you to do my healing. So here's, I want you to see you so that you take care of you, because that's what the session is for. And that's a boundary, right? That's an energetic boundary. And that's what our protective shields are for. They're boundaries. And we can sense when we need to shield a little better when we feel like boundaries have been crossed in our relationships. So if we feel resentment, that's like one of the key things. When we feel resentment or we feel like we're going to go into judgment, then a line has been crossed energetically. And that means that our shields and our boundaries aren't what we would like them to be. And that's an opportunity for us to grow and create something more sustainable, more durable, and that type of thing. Phew. It's an interesting thing. So one of the things that I'm noticing because of this current situation, like people are spending more time together. And so as you spend more time together, you don't necessarily have the resilience to keep the shields up. And then people get through. And they get through because you get triggered energetically, or you feel drained, energetically drained. That's another one that can show you that you might need to expand how you shield. And we all have a sense of our shields because we will call it our personal bubble, and we have this line of, how close someone can step before they're stepping in our bubble, right? And there are some people that we allow to step into our bubble, and then there's other people who just don't adhere to that that bubble that we've created. And when they step in too close, then we step back often in reaction because we need that space. But that's happening. That type of thing is happening a lot more because we're having a lot more time with people than we're used to. And so we get tired of, holding it up. And you might notice you get more cranky at the end of the day or more frustrated. You have less patience. I have so much empathy for moms who have kids who are home right now because you've got to do your work and you're supposed to all of a sudden now take on another full-time job and be a teacher. And your kids aren't used to necessarily being together all day. And with the social distancing, they may not be doing the activities that would normally help them blow off steam. And everybody's trapped in the same house. And so you're fried energetically, and rightfully so. But this is the perfect time to learn how to restore your shields and restore yourself. And, if you haven't been watching Neshi's broadcast in the morning, it's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. She does a grounding meditation every day, just as a reset to help you. And it's recorded, so you can play it anytime you need it. And remember that the minute you start to feel compromised, then 1, you're ungrounded. And then 2, once you're grounded, then it's time to put up your shields. But remember that you want to clear your energy so that when your shields go up, you're in clean, clear, crystal energy, and you feel complete, you feel whole. Those of you who have allergies, like I do, especially if you have environmental allergies right now, they're starting to kick up. And even though we're spending more time inside, we're still sensing them, we're still noticing them. And that comes in, and that starts to deplete our energy because we have a reaction to the pollen. And that pollen, when it starts to enter our energy field, that is a difficult place to be. So we want to clear, make sure that we're clearing even more frequently when we have that kind of energy. I have allergies to ragweed, which is a big one here in the US, but I'm also allergic to almost every bush and tree that flowers. So like the forsythia and the lilacs and the like the cherry blossoms or the dogwood, all the beautiful, beautiful trees out there that are just make this gorgeous, bright spring bouquet. Yeah, does me in. So in that place, then, my field can go down, and if I'm not taking care of it. Thank you, Neshi, for sharing that. So Neshi was sharing about my, this is where you can go for my blends and for my services, to trinityhealingsanctuaries.com. And I'm doing a lot of distance work. Not that I didn't before, but I'm doing that's all the work that I'm doing is distance work right now. So if you need help with anything, just feel free to reach out to me, send me a message, and I'd be happy to help. So what I'd like to do is for us to do a grounding meditation. And then we'll clear our chakras so that they're as clean as they can be at the moment. And then I will show you how to create a stronger, more durable protective bubble at this point in time. And right before I get to that, I connect to 7 chakras. Most people understand the 7 chakras, and I discuss that regularly. So we will be using those. And then I also connect to the 5 chakras of our higher self. And when I call on those energies, I invite the higher self to join with our physical body rather than being way above our head, so that it creates an extra energy system that we can use to amplify our energy field. And so you'll hear that as part of the meditation because that helps with the expanded durability and flexibility so that our aura can stretch without tearing. I hope that makes sense. All right, let me take a quick sip. All right. So let's put our feet on the floor if we can. I want to make sure that you are sitting up as straight as you can, or you can have your back against the wall, or if you're laying down, you can have your feet up or you could be laying flat, whatever is most comfortable for you. You just want to make sure that your arms and your legs are uncrossed. We want to keep the circuit of energy flowing. And when we cross our arms or our legs, that can impede the flow and cause it to back up. So we want to make sure that we have those wide open. Good. So we're going to take a couple of deep breaths, and with each breath, we're going to feel and sense and be aware more fully of our physical body. So breathe in and breathe out. Feel your bones and your muscles and the weight of gravity pushing down on you. And again, breathe in and breathe out. And we're going to begin by grounding our energy. So you may ground in whatever way is most comfortable to you. I am going to ground with my heart, asking my heart to connect to my solar plexus, grounding and centering, to connect to my sacral chakra, grounding and centering, to connect to my root chakra, grounding and centering, down each leg, down each foot, through the earth, through the foundation of the building that we're in, through the layers of rock and earth, all the way to the molten lava center. And asking this cord of connection to expand, to be the fullest anchor that we need to connect us to the earth and her energy in this moment. Making room in the cord for energy to flow to us and through us as we do clearing work in a moment. And I'm also going to create a grounding cord to the divine masculine above, from my heart through my throat, grounding and connecting it from my throat and my third eye, grounding, connecting, and centering, connecting to the crown above, grounding, centering, and connecting. And then through our higher self, out through the ozone layers of the earth, past stars and galaxies, to the very center of creation, where our soul was first perceived. Asking that energy to anchor us and ground us as well. Opening the cord of connection so that energy can flow more easily to us and through us. And we're going to welcome in the divine energy, however we perceive that. And we're just going to begin by asking the divine to place a bubble of love and light around us so that we feel safe and secure. Grounded and connected. We're going to ask our spiritual team to connect to us as well, our angels, our guides, our ancestors, the star beings, our animals, all divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment. We're going to gently clear our chakra energy. So beginning at the crown, we're going to allow any energy of doubt or disconnect to gently dissolve in this moment. Expanding our sense of self and our connection to our higher self. Clearing the third eye, any energetic pollution that we may have clouding our judgment, clouding our ability to perceive clearly. Releasing any thoughts, ideas, or beliefs that may be moving through our energy field and sticking to us in some fashion. Bringing our brain into harmony. Opening the gateways of communication with our spiritual team. So that we may hear and sense their wisdom and their guidance. Their reminders when we need to reboot our energetic protection. And moving down through the throat, being aware of all the energy that is clearing through the throat, making room for our authentic truth to be spoken, our self-expression to be unleashed in a fuller and more beautiful way. Releasing all the energy of responsibility and burden that we may be carrying on our shoulders, for ourselves and others. Releasing the energy in our shoulders, in our arms and our hands. That may be blocking our ability to give or receive fully. Opening our heart and allowing the old grief that we have stored here to gently release. Any disappointment, sadness that we've held here. Any ways we've felt unsupported in our life at any point in time. Gently releasing from our spine as well. And continuing to release any energy that may be interfering with our own well-being, the well-being of those around us. Any energy that is distracting us from our own healing in this moment. And down into the solar plexus, and allowing space for any of the anger that we've been holding or frustration. Any times we've noticed our shields going down through stress, resentment, judgment, anger, including righteous anger. And filling those places with unconditional love, harmony, balance, resilience, and patience. Moving down into the second chakra and gently releasing any disharmony that we've had here from our flow, the giving and the receiving, the growing and the evolving. Releasing cords of connection with things that have not served our highest good. Releasing any cords of depletion that we know of, that we don't know of. Returning, restoring our energy to its fullest. Moving down into the root chakra. Clearing any instability we've been having. Worry about jobs, money, finances, food, shelter, health, and well-being for ourselves, for our family. And just gently asking the divine energy assisting us with clearing to go anywhere else we may be feeling discomfort or dis-ease. In our neck, our collarbone, our back, our hips, our knees. And restoring balance to our organs as well. And allowing any energy that we've chosen to release to gently flow downward into the earth, into the molten lava center, to be composted, to beautiful new creation energy. From this place, we're going to invite our higher self to connect to us more fully, more completely, and asking our heart and the heart of our highest self to come together in alignment in this moment. Feeling the merging of the two hearts as they come together, filling and balancing with unconditional love and light. And we're going to ask each chakra to create their own little force field. So beginning at the crown, asking the crown to ground, shield, and protect in this beautiful orb of white light. Asking our third eye to shield, ground, and protect in this beautiful orb of white light as well. Asking our throat chakra to ground, clear, and shield in this beautiful white light around us. And asking our two hearts to ground, clear, and shield our heart, creating the inner shield, and our heart, high heart, creating an outer shield, a brilliant pink light. And asking our third chakra to ground, clear, and shield. And our second chakra to also ground, clear, and shield. And our root chakra, grounding, clearing, and shielding. And asking the crown of our highest self to create a second outer layer of protection inside the bubble created by the high heart. And gently asking the divine to wrap infinite love and infinite light like a cocoon around our shields in each and every direction, dimension, vibration, and frequency that our energy field connects to. All right, there you have it. So take a sense of what your energy field feels like right now, what the boundaries feel like for you. And know that you have the ability to do this whenever you need to. Again, this is recorded, so it'll be right on my Chakra Sessions page for you to go to if you need it. But, you know, there's a lot of fluctuating energy on the planet, and creating shields and protection are not to keep other people out, but rather to keep our energy in balance and in harmony so that we can navigate these changing times with more ease and more grace, and to feel less pulled apart and less bombarded by what's going on around us. And we all need that reminder. It's difficult at times for us to connect to that and sense that, but that's what we have going on. So I just want to share Neshi's show that's coming up on Sunday, I believe. I'm just trying to get it to show. There it is. So the Star Nations Academy, a launch into deep waters of manifesting. There's 4 online classes that were bundled together. And her class, which is the 4th class, is coming up this weekend on Sunday at 3 p.m. Remembering how to create. And I did my class last week, which was multi-dimensional manifesting with your inner child. Maureen did manifesting with your angels, and Ed Langen helped us with manifesting with the law of attraction energy. So if that's something that now that the energy has been shifting, you're in that mode of wanting to create something new in your life. And again, the old laws of attraction are working okay, but not as well as when you take it up into the fuller dimensions. So that's what we have gathered together, us Star Nations hosts, to help you guys create your future, create what you want in your life. So if you have an opportunity, I really invite you to watch Neshi's class coming up. And if you get the bundle of classes, then you can go back and watch the other ones when it's convenient for you. So with that, you guys, I will be back here next week for chakra sessions. I am going to begin doing my show in a little bit of a different way. And so each month we'll be focused on a particular chakra and all the ways that it works, and the ways we can boost it, and the ways we can bring that chakra into the higher dimensions. And I also will do entire months on each of the soul chakras that are connected to our higher self, because many teachers aren't teaching about those as well. So that is coming up in this new year with chakra sessions, because I want to help you really be able to manage your own energy, to be able to create the life that you want for yourself, and to really align with what's calling you, what your purpose and your mission are, and to help the light workers out there have some tools in this changing time, because some of the things, like I said, that we've been doing in the past, they're not working as well. And I've been getting a lot of information on that. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. And if you're interested in any of the blends, you can go to the trinityhealingsanctuaries.com, but the Ascension blend is not on the site. So if you're interested in that to help you through all this changing energy, just reach out to me and send me a message, and I will help you with that. So you guys have a great night. Thank you for helping me with my spiritual mission, which is to heal the healers. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.